Hey everyone, so previously on Comic Island, we discussed the origins and early history of the Spectre, a crazy, powerful superhero that emerged during the early 1940s and then disappeared completely without explanation. Now, we're going to look at two comics published 20 years after the Spectre disappeared that deal with his return. For over a score of years, the Spectre had vanished from the world, with no apparent reason for his disappearance. This all changed at Treasure Castle, once owned by millionaire Ebenezer Olcott, who, before he died, hid his fortune away. Seeking it out was Millicent Myra Olcott, legal heir to the fortune, Stefan Miklos, a psychic investigator, and Detective Jim Corrigan, on police assignment to protect Myra against potential theft. There, Stefan tried to use his abilities to seek out the treasure, but found nothing, so Millicent suggested a seance, which worried Jim Corrigan. Part of the police detective had been missing these last 20 years, and it left him thinking of the Spectre, who could have easily found the treasure in mere moments. Corrigan had been left all alone and without explanation as to what happened to the Spectre, only knowing that he suddenly disappeared shortly after the Second World War. The gathered group did a seance the next day with a medium, and as the woman called out to the spirit world, a spell that had rendered the spirit of the Spectre immobile had been lifted, and Jim could feel his personality dividing in two because of it. Little did everyone know, outside, some criminals seeking revenge against Corrigan drove by and threw a grenade into the room. The Spectre, stirring to life for the first time in decades, was able to sense the danger, lift out of Jim Corrigan, and contain the explosion within his cape, safely bringing it outside. The experience was enough to trigger Stefan's abilities, and he gleaned that the treasure was being held in a nearby warehouse. However, when they arrived there, a group of armed men, led by two gang leaders, Rox and Tuffy, were waiting for them, with an ambush prepared. The rival gangsters had joined forces to take the Olcott fortune and get revenge on Jim Corrigan for his years of excellent police service. Fortunately, the Spectre used his powers to track Corrigan down and arrived just in time to save the man from a hail of bullets. The ghostly hero, by then a mere legend of a crime fighter on Earth 2, thought only to be a myth passed down by the criminal underworld, was almost instantly able to overwhelm and terrify the attackers by growing large enough to swallow their bullets whole and then shooting them back at the crooks through his cape. With that, the Spectre vanished before Corrigan's eyes once more. Millicent got the money rightfully owed to her, and that night, the Spectre once again appeared before Jim Corrigan so they could speak in private. The Spectre explained he was imprisoned within Corrigan by a force the spirit did not understand, and they agreed the Spectre would seek out an explanation for all of this, while Corrigan rounded up any remaining associates of Rox and Tuffy. The Spectre traveled around the world to places of tremendous astral power, in search of an answer to explain his disappearance, yet none of these places yielded any results. He returned when he sensed Jim being attacked by the remaining gang members, easily saving the police detective once more using his size-changing abilities. However, when the crooks were finished off, the Spectre felt drained of all his energy, and was once more pulled back into Corrigan's body by the same force keeping him there all these years. Before he was pulled back in, the Spectre begged Jim to find a man by the name of Paul Nevers, who the spirit sensed would have the answers they sought. Jim obliged and discovered on his way there that Paul Nevers was a small-time crook suddenly pulling off amazing crimes that were baffling the police of Mountain City. Encountering Paul, the Spectre within Jim Corrigan could sense a similar spirit empowering the crook. A being called Azmodon emerged from Paul, revealing that he arrived on Earth 20 years ago and possessed a man just like the Spectre. However, the Earth could not contain the power of two spiritual beings this strong, so both were rendered dormant simultaneously. When Azmodon's original host died, the demon was freed, and he obtained a special bullet with ultra-evil powers. The bullet, if used on Azmodon's new host, Paul, would free the demon and leave the Spectre permanently imprisoned within Jim Corrigan. Thus, the demon tried to force Corrigan to shoot Nevers, but the Spectre's powers were there to cancel the demons out, effectively putting everyone in a stalemate. So the two spirits decided to battle each other directly, in a fight that stretched across space, with the demon hurling a meteor at the Spectre and forming light into matter to ensnare the spirit in a trap. The extended battle continued for some time, being pushed out into the astral plane for a period before returning to the physical world, at which point they began beating each other down with celestial objects. Things only finally resolved back on Earth when Jim Corrigan was able to overpower Paul Nevers, which in turn weakened Azmodon due to his connection with Paul, and the Spectre was able to use this opportunity to imprison the demon in a realm of nothingness. The demon refused to tell the Spectre why exactly he came to Earth to begin with, but Azmodon did warn the Spectre that he arranged things so that his master plan could carry on without him, and the Spectre would experience the demon's revenge, regardless of what happened to him here. The Spectre returned to Earth, where he encountered a strange shadow that pulled him into another world called Dis. The Present spoke out to him, warning that because of Azmodon, another demon named Chiffon, the Eternal, sought to destroy the barrier between Dis and Earth. Fortunately, the Presence also told Spectre that he had the superpower that allowed him to become Time's ally, moving back and forth through it freely. By doing so, the Spectre learned that Dis was part of an evil realm that represented something called psychomatter, a malignant version of regular matter. Chiffon represents a powerful evil force that exists on the realm of Dis, and exists as a sort of evil counterpart to a similar cosmic being that looks over the regular universe. In the Spectre's journey throughout time, he noted that many others have fought to keep Chiffon dormant over the years. The Spectre comes to suspect this may have been why he was initially created to begin with, to be the latest vanguard against this demon, and so he challenged Chiffon in battle. Once again, the Spectre found himself in a conflict raging across the cosmos itself, this one taking spirit and demon directly into the sun, before the Spectre uses his new powers to fling Chiffon through time to October 30th, 1961, directly over the Tsar bomb detonation, the largest nuclear explosion in human history. Even this did little more than stun Chiffon, but it allowed the Spectre to continue pummeling him across time. He slammed the demon into a giant meteor, an erupting volcano, and finally, the Big Bang itself, which destroyed the demon completely. With the day saved, the Spectre vowed to once again protect the world at the side of Jim Corrigan. Now finally returned to form, the two were pleased with this, happy to be reunited and once again fighting crime like they used to in the 1940s. At the time, neither had any sense of the crises to come.